Nancy Cordes has been covering the Democratic race here with us in New York today. Nancy, good to see you.
Good to see you, Josh.
Almost 700 delegates now up for grabs for the Democrats. 6 states heading to the polls tomorrow. With Hillary Clinton now 26 delegates, again, away from clinching this nomination. She should pick up the remainder. There will be debates, perhaps through Philadelphia, about the role that superdelegates will play here. But at this point, waking up today, the Bernie Sanders campaign is thinking what?
You've got a couple different camps in the Bernie Sanders universe. You've got one camp that says, look, we got to keep going. We got to take this fight to the convention. That's our best chance at affecting Hillary Clinton's platform. We got to keep the pressure on her. She can't clinch it technically until those superdelegates cast their votes on the convention floor. Why should we back down? Then you've got the other camp that says, look, we got to put party first at some point. We want to defeat Donald Trump. That is of paramount importance. Our influence in the Democratic Party is only going to decrease if we start to look like sore losers. And so that's the tension you've got playing out right now within the Sanders campaign among high-ranking officials in the campaign. And Sanders hasn't indicated yet which side he comes down to. I'd surmise that actually it depends on the day which side he comes down on, and we'll find out how he feels today. In fact, he's got a press conference scheduled for this morning. We might pick up some clues there, and then we'll certainly see what happens after Tuesday night.
There are another round of stories right now regarding Bernie Sanders and the what could have been notion of his campaign, that perhaps had it gotten started going earlier, and perhaps had he taken sharper critiques of Hillary Clinton and woven those into his message, things might have been different today. So here's a candidate perhaps who didn't think he would be here today with plenty of money still to spend. And here's a candidate who has not been a part, you talk about party unity, but has not been a part of the Democratic Party, does not necessarily perhaps feel the same inherent loyalty. So is he, to your point, is there sort of perhaps a crisis of personal conscience now with Sanders?
You know, I don't think so, because I think when people say, oh, he could have gone after her harder in the beginning, maybe would have done this or that, I think that ignores the fact that the whole reason that he gathered a following in the first place was because he was a different kind of candidate, because he wasn't doing those personal attacks, because he had a positive outlook for the country's future and a progressive platform that people fell in love with. And if he had been this attack dog, I don't think he would have gained the kind of following in the first place that would have enabled him later on to make those kinds of attacks from time to time and still be seen as this positive force for the future. So, I don't sense that the Sanders campaign is spending a lot of time at this point dwelling on the what ifs. He didn't start out with the kind of money or organization that would have enabled him to build this huge juggernaut early on. The same kind of money that he ended up bringing in after a couple of months in the race. So their big focus right now is on what to do next and how to have the most influence that they can over Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton really now seems to have made this pivot. The speech regarding that a lot of people just reduced to a roast of Donald Trump has really continued to gain traction as Donald Trump over the weekend really has doubled down now on comments about the judge in the case regarding Trump University. He, in fact, speaking to our John Dickerson, suggested that he also believes perhaps a Muslim judge could not be impartial if it was hearing a similar case. Is Donald Trump, to a degree, doing the work that the Clinton campaign may have hoped he would do in really making these lines very stark?
Absolutely. He's giving them fresh material every day. And that's why they have settled on this strategy where they are going to be as careful as possible not to exaggerate his positions, not to go further than he's gone.
Hillary said it was chapter and verse. I'm just taking it chapter and verse. They feel
that, that his words are their best argument. And so they're just going to repeat his words back to him in speeches and in ads. They've shown already that they can infuriate him by doing that. And then when he comes back and says, well, I don't believe any of that, it's all lies, they can simply say, well, no, it isn't. And helpfully put out press releases that say A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is when he said each each one of these things. You know, it's one of the rare times where a campaign doesn't have to go looking for material. It's all they're waiting for.
Do you think that was a point of that speech as much as anything, looking to go to response?
Yes, to provoke him, absolutely. And I think that you know, you're seeing that now that Hillary Clinton is focusing not just a few chapters of her speech talking about him, but really a large portion of her speeches and her public appearances and her interviews talking about him. And you've got a lot more press scrutiny on him as well now that he is the Republican presumptive nominee. You've seen him have great difficulty with that. And I don't think that the Clinton campaign anticipated how much difficulty he would have, but it's certainly something that they're taking advantage of.
It's a gift they will freely open. Nancy Cordes with the Democrats, as always, we appreciate it.
Sure thing, Josh.